Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Mundell, and I welcome you today on behalf of the whole team supporting the Laudato Si Action Platform. I'm just looking at all of the names coming up in the chat, and it is always so moving to see how big our global community is. It's wonderful to have you all connecting from around the world, and it's encouraging knowing there are so many of us committed to putting integral ecology into practice in your daily lives, as individuals and with your dioceses, communities, and institutions. I invite you to introduce yourself if you haven't yet already in the chat with your name, your country, your organization, and you can let us know if you're signed on as an individual or family. I'm calling today from Indianapolis, Indiana in the United States, recognizing and acknowledging, excuse me, that my city is located on the traditional and ancestral territory of the Miami, Potawatomi, and Swanee people. We honor the heritage of Native peoples throughout the world, what they teach us about the stewardship of the earth, and their continuing efforts today to protect the planet. The platform is a program of the Vatican's Dicastery for Promoting Integral Human Development, and supported by the Laudato Si movement as its global operational partner, built together with the input and contribution of many organizations around the world who are working with us to foster a culture and practice of integral ecology, and many of them are connected here today. We're excited for today's program, and the speakers will bring us insights on our topic, how to set up and carry out your Laudato Si plans. This is a second in a how-to series aimed at offering you concrete support on how to interact with the platform, how to involve your dioceses, institutions, schools, and communities, and have a chance to interact with other platform participants through the community meetings immediately following the webinars this year. If you missed last month's webinar on how to get involved in the Laudato Si Action Platform and what to expect, you can find that recording on our YouTube channel, along with many other resources. Now, a few practical announcements before we begin. If you need translation, we are offering translations in Spanish, Italian, French, or Portuguese. You can access them through the Interpretations button at the bottom of your screen. Click the Interpretations button, then choose your language. This webinar is being recorded and live streamed on YouTube. Only our designated speakers will be visible, and we hope you'll save the YouTube link to rewatch or share later. With this practical topic of today's webinar, I imagine you will have some questions. Some of you already submitted them when you registered, but if others come up, please submit them by clicking the Q&A button anytime during the webinar. Any question put in the regular chat may get lost, so please use the Q&A button. And finally, it's really wonderful to have this global community coming together, and we'll build that sense of community together during this time. We want to live it with respect and openness, with a spirit of dialogue, and including what we write in our chat with that spirit. If you'd like to look at our netiquette guidelines, which you agreed to in your registration, you can find them at the link in the chat. Before I continue, I will invite Sister Claudia Ticini to lead us in an opening prayer. Sister Claudia is a religious of the Associación Congregación Santa Catarina in Brasilia, Brazil, with many years' experience in production engineering and in the field of education, working on a global compact for education, pastoral ministry, sustainability, integral ecology, policy, and evaluating educational systems. She is on the Laudato Si movement's special projects team as religious outreach coordinator for Brazil, supporting the religious sector in their work on the Laudato Si Action Platform. So let's recollect ourselves for a moment.
Olá, bem-vindos e bem-vindas para esse encontro que nos coloca em sintonia com a criação e com o seu Criador. O Pai, o Filho e o Espírito Santo, na harmonia de sua presença trinitária, nos mobiliza para perceber, amar e cuidar da nossa casa comum. Sabemos que nem sempre as nossas ações e atitudes contribuem na relação com os outros, com Deus e com a criação. Por isso, nesse tempo da Quaresma, Queremos nos dispor a melhor acolher a realidade, a palavra de Deus e da Igreja que nos remetem à ação. As imagens do projeto Documento da Igreja em Imagens, Aprendizagem Visual, Laudato Si número 2, cujo texto é retirado na apresentação que vamos ouvir, produzido pelo irmão Natanael, da Congregação dos Padres Redentoristas, nos ajudam nesta compreensão. Podemos ver o vídeo. Especialmente nesse tempo da Quaresma, aqui no Brasil, a campanha da fraternidade enfatiza as relações de fraternidade desenvolvidas pela amizade social. Somos convidados e convidadas a transformar a divisão em fraternidade, a substituir a indiferença e o ódio por relações de fraternidade, vivendo como irmãos e irmãs. Por isso, nosso convite a rezarmos em comunhão com toda a humanidade a oração da campanha da fraternidade deste ano. Deus Pai, vós criastes todos os seres humanos com a mesma dignidade. Vós os resgatastes pela vida, morte e ressurreição do vosso Filho Jesus e os tornastes filhos e filhas santificados no Espírito. Ajudai-nos nesta Quaresma a compreender o valor da amizade social e a viver a beleza da fraternidade humana aberta a todos, para além dos nossos gostos, afetos e preferências, num caminho de verdadeira penitência e conversão. Inspirai-nos um renovado compromisso batismal com a construção de um mundo novo, de diálogo, justiça, igualdade e paz, conforme a boa nova do Evangelho. Ensinai-nos a construir uma sociedade solidária sem exclusão, indiferença, violência e guerras. E que Maria, vossa serva e nossa mãe, eduque-nos para fazermos vossa santa vontade. Amém. E encerramos esse momento reconhecendo-nos que tudo está interligado nesta casa comum, como se fôssemos um. Amém. Um bom encontro para todos nós.
Muito obrigada. Thank you, Sister Claudia.
Thank you.
This year, as we address more practical ways to engage with the platform and involve people in carrying out Laudato Si action plans, we're following the See, Judge, Act method. We'll look at today's challenges as they relate to integral ecology, to consider them in the light of the rich social teaching of the Catholic Church, and as Pope John XXIII said, to read the signs of the times and discern together how to translate what we've understood into concrete goals and actions that promote justice and transform the world around us. We're on this journey with you, so hopefully we can continue to develop our webinars in a way that is helpful for everyone, and we're always open to input. In light of the See, Judge, Act model, I'll share our agenda. Today's speakers include Laudato Si Action Platform Director John Mundell, who will take us through a tour of some submitted personalized and community action plans, share a few success stories of plan implementation, and highlight the interconnectedness of individual actions. Then we'll have Benedictine Sister Sheila Marie Fitzpatrick from the Archdiocese of Indianapolis's Creation Care Commission, and Sister Adina Balan from the Congregation of Jesus in Rome, representing the Mary Ward family, named for their founder. They will share their Archdiocese and organization's experiences creating and implementing a Laudato Si plan, so we get to see a firsthand peek into that process, including what has helped and what challenges they faced. Then Laudato Si Action Platform Program Manager Alonso de Llanes, currently in France, will walk us through the why, how, and who of creating a Laudato Si plan, submission timelines, how to discover suggested actions and use templates provided on the platform, how to upload your plan, and refining and adjusting plans according to the Laudato Si goals. He'll also show us how the platform allows for collaboration among groups. Then there will be time for a brief question and answer session, some announcements, and a closing prayer. If you are an enrolled platform participant who's already signed up for this month's community meeting, which will happen immediately after the webinar, it will be on a separate Zoom call. We look forward to continuing our discussion there and getting to know one another even better there. Now I will pass the microphone on to our director, John Mundell. He's in a special conference related to creation care happening right now in San Diego, California, where it's very, very early in the morning. So he sent us a recorded greeting last night.
Greetings, everyone. Today I'm coming to you from the west coast of the United States, participating in a very unique ecclesial gathering called The Way Forward. It's unusual in that this meeting has a good number of American bishops who are participating, along with Catholic theologians and other church leaders. The meeting topic this year? Laudato Si, protecting our common home, building our common church. A particular focus is being placed on how Laudato Si can be applied by the bishops in a pastoral sense. What are some of the challenges they face, but also what are some of the opportunities? I don't know about you, but seeing members of the hierarchy start to become engaged in implementing Laudato Si gives me great hope. This signals a small yet noticeable shift that we are beginning to see happening not only here, but all over the world. And so our webinar today could not be more perfect, since our focus is really on the most important part of the Laudato Si Action Platform, the action part. It's where the rubber meets the road, as we say. How do we practically start the process of reflecting on Laudato Si and then making a plan of action that is tangible, realistic, and doable, and then carrying it out? Currently, we have less than 10% of our LSAP members having actually submitted reflections and plans. And we know how important this step is for our success. And so we want to make it as easy and clear as possible. Today we'll give a few examples that illustrate the how-to and the wide variety of the plans that are possible based on where on the ecological conversion journey you are, and also adjusted for your particular and unique setting in the world. So 2 final comments. No reflection or plan is too small if it is done out of love and respect for our common home, and with the most sincere intentions. By submitting an action plan, you're really doing 2 very important things. You are saying, we are part of the worldwide movement in the church that wants to make progress, and you can count on us to begin doing our part. And 2, we want to share our ideas, our efforts, and our successes with the wider community of the platform to help inspire others and to hold ourselves accountable for trying to achieve specific goals. I am hopeful today that you can join also in our community program after the webinar to begin sharing with others within your sector who are also working on their action plans. We pray that your Lenten journey for Laudato Si will inspire you to begin those actions that our beautiful planet so desperately needs. Onward on our pilgrimage of reconciliation, and take care.
Thank you to him and all the best to everyone at that conference today. So now we will have a chance to see in a few minutes some brief examples that are coming from our platform through our speakers. As you listen to these examples and as you go onto the platform later and look through those that are already there, once you've been signed up in your user dashboard, you can find them. Do remember, as he said, that each example comes from a unique context, and each of our communities around the world has that grace to discern what's best in their own place. None of the plans are on the platform because they're the perfect one or the only way to format and set them up. Each participant may even just adjust their plan year after year. So these are really working documents that evolve over time and serve us as we progress on our journey. If they inspire you, great. Please take what is useful for your situation and then discern how to personalize your plan. As you go onto the platform afterwards and after hearing our speakers also, try to consider which challenges and barriers there might be for you and your organization as you develop your Laudato Si plan. What gifts, make a note so you can talk with others about how you might face them. What gifts do the people in your diocese, parish, organization, school, etc. have? What do they have that could help support the work towards specific action items? So now I will introduce our speakers, Sister Sheila Marie Fitzpatrick and Sister Adina Balan. We've invited them here because they represent two of the platform's biggest sectors, dioceses and organizations. And the Archdiocese of Indianapolis and the Married Ward family are examples of those who have already uploaded plans and are seeking to carry them out. Sister Sheila Fitzpatrick is a Benedictine sister of over 25 years and a member of the Archdiocese of Indianapolis's Creation Care Commission in the United States. She's the commission's liaison for Indiana Catholics for Creation, an education and advocacy advisory group, and participant in the Catholic Climate Covenant's interdiocesan group. As a master naturalist, tree steward, and Aldo Leopold educator, she is the director of facilities at Benedict Inn in Indianapolis and has led her local religious community's efforts in caring for creation. Sister Adina Balan is currently in Rome and is a member of the Congregation of Jesus, a religious order founded by Mary Ward, including 1,600 religious present in 20 countries. She serves as her congregation's JPIC coordinator and is Talita Cum coordinator for Europe. With a background in law and communications, she founded Solvodi Romania in 2009 to aid victims of human trafficking and domestic violence. And since 2020, she coordinates the congregation's activities toward integral ecology. Today, she'll speak for her congregation and the Institute of the Blessed Virgin Mary Loreto Sisters, both part of the Mary Ward family and working jointly on their Laudato Si plan. So Sister Adina and Sister Sheila, our audience comes from many contexts, as I said before, so we welcome your example and ask if you can share what you've gone through as you've evaluated your local context, what deciding which action items to include in your plans, how did you gain support from your leadership, how did you face challenges, and make adjustments as needed, all of these questions. We'll start with Sister Sheila and then go straight to Sister Adina.
All right, very good. Well, welcome from Indianapolis. I'm going to share my screen here. A moment. Here we go. Right, is everybody able to see that? Are you good?
Yes.
Okay, good. Very good. Very good. All right. I'll get the slideshow here to make it a little easier here. Okay. So as Sarah mentioned, I'm a member of the our Archdiocese Creation Care Commission. And the mission of this commission is to encourage and foster the care of God's creation as a way of life and a core principle of our Catholic faith, and to minimize the Archdiocese's impact on the environment. Okay, and so we do that through education, through assisting parishes, individuals in the Archdiocese, and schools, other organizations, and then also initiating activities that may not get started just in the ordinary operations of the archdiocese that, pertain to care for creation. Okay. Now we began in 2015. So actually the year that the encyclical was published. There was a group of individuals from different parishes in the archdiocese that came together and said, we feel the need for something at the diocesan level. And so approached then Archbishop Joseph Tobin, who blessed the commission, said that, yes, this is an important effort. You certainly have my blessing in the leadership of the archdiocese. It was a group of volunteers, still is a group of volunteers, and formed, with initially 5 people, began some starting efforts really to get the word out. We did education in the diocesan newspaper. We, tried to do some meetings and really gatherings, festivals, putting a table out at different places, really to get the word out, and began to identify what tasks we could do at the diocesan level. So as you noticed, 2015 was before the Laudato Si Action Platform. So really our actions were we just said, where can we find opportunity to begin to move the diocese forward in care for creation? So since 2015, we have accomplished some things. First, the Creation Care Commission, the creation of that is important, to have a body that is really focused on learning and on care for creation in the archdiocese. We also began a season of creation mass that we've held. We've had 3 so far. This is a picture from the creation mass from this past year with our current archbishop, which is Charles Thompson. We created a website, ourcommonhome.org is a great source of resources for the archdiocese. We have an email list and communication, regular periodic communications. We've also done some parish assessments, which I'll talk a little bit more about here shortly.
Sister
And
Sheila,
then,
can I
sorry?
stop you for a second? Could
Sure.
you take down your presentation and put it back up so that we can see the full screen? Because right now we're seeing the 2 different slides.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That
Okay.
way it's big enough for everyone to see. Sorry.
All right, so we will take it down. Hang on a minute, let me get out. Okay. And then you want me to put it back up from, so that's still 2 slides. Do you need the full screen?
Yes. That's
All right. Okay. Let me see if I need to. All right. Are you able to see the full screen now?
we see your desktop, but maybe this is better than before. So maybe we can go ahead.
We'll just go with this. Okay, very good. All right, welcome to this. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So we have also done some work across the state. We have 5 dioceses in the state of Indiana. And there's individuals from each of the dioceses that are also involved with this at different levels, whether they're part of another organization or as individuals and parishes. And we really work together with them and also with our Indiana Catholic Conference, which is the public policy voice of the state of Indiana, to really look at advocacy and promote that. And then lastly, the overall effort is to really integrate into the fabric of the archdiocese. So to begin to do for all the tasks that happen in the archdiocese, to think about care for creation. Okay, so, and the archdiocese is beginning a pastoral plan effort, and we have participation in that. So that is a great first step in that area, next step, I should say. Okay, so just a couple examples and pictures of some things we've done. Every other year, Indianapolis hosts the National Catholic Youth Conference, and we have had booths at the conference really promoting care for creation. So there's a couple of pictures from that. We've also done tree plantings across the archdiocese. Again, a very practical thing that a number of people can really can take part in. And then, as I mentioned, the parish assessments. So we've had 2 efforts over a couple summers, one in 2019 and one again this past year, where we had interns that were really able to dedicate, 8 to 10 weeks of their time to really do these assessments. So it was in a concentrated amount of time, which I think helped the parishes as well. So basically what they do is they meet with the members of the parish and really look at all aspects of parish life, and then review that and look for, they have different checklists that they look at. I'll show you those in a minute, just a sampling. And then they really develop, okay, where are some opportunities where this parish can move forward? And so it gives them something specific to work with. Okay. All right, so here are some examples of the checklists. They're, again, you can't see them, but it just gives you a sense. So they're looking at everything from HVAC, heating, cooling, lighting, use of water, waste, but also the outside, your outside property, education. What are they teaching? Maybe from a parish standpoint, but also from the school if they are running a school. So I went through all these questions and really got assessment of where the parish was at. And then the interns put together really a spreadsheet that shows, okay, this particular parish might have done some opportunity or have some opportunity for growth in this area. We also worked with the high school as well in 2019. So you can get a nice, again, sense of what to do, and then to give each parish, kind of a task of what they could do. All right. So what we learned from the assessments is that there's a lot of low-hanging fruit. It's all around. There's a lot of opportunity. So there, you'll find it. I think the key is if you look, you'll find it. It's good to connect parishes to resources. It's also very good to have something concrete to bring, some value that you're bringing to a parish, and then you can begin that dialogue with them. So they get to know you and you get to know them, and you can continue that relationship. You do have to fight the mentality, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's parishes are moving in the direction. They're doing things the way they've done for many years. There's a status quo and inertia, and sometimes it's a challenge to move through that. So the key is to persevere and continue to encourage. Another opportunity that we found is that there are facility managers at many of these parishes, whether they're part-time, volunteer, full-time, but they don't get a chance to talk to each other. That doesn't tend to happen. So this gives them an avenue to share thoughts and progress and things they've done. The return on investment, parishes, that it's a great way to get started with the parish to say, we can help you save money. The key is to help them move beyond just saving money and really look at the broader and bigger picture and really where God's calling each of us. A couple specific things. One is, many parishes, the green space is just grass, and there's great opportunity to reduce mowing, to use that space in a very positive way through gardens, maybe a sacred space on their grounds that could really benefit the parish and the community and the school. Other examples of the low-hanging fruit are, changing the thermostats, occupation sensors, timers. These are easy and affordable ways to help make energy more efficient. Energy bills are another very important opportunity. These are commercial facilities, and here in the United States, the energy bills are very hard to understand. So it's very hard to look at your energy bill and say, how is the usage from month to month, year to year? So gaining that expertise or finding that expertise is valuable, and it can really be a great eye opener for a parish. And then, keep the ideas practical. We don't have to worry too much about ideology when you're working with the parish. We all have buildings to maintain. We all have, a parish to operate. So there's many practical things that we can talk about. And then, of course, ask the parish. They finding those people in a parish that really care about what we're doing, caring about creation is really important. So there are probably many things that they're doing that they are not even aware of. Okay. And then challenges that we face. This picture is a member of a director of our Indiana Catholic Conference, Alexander Mingus, and he was speaking at the Renewable Energy Day at the State House. Our state in Indiana is a conservative state. There's a super majority, and it can be very challenging to bring up issues that we as Catholics feel strongly about and want to see movement on. And so it is good to work together and create a common voice, and to work with voices from different faiths and different backgrounds. There are different priorities. Our archdiocese is comprised of the city of Indianapolis, but it goes all the way into southern Indiana, across both sides, east and west. A big rural area. So we have a lot of rural parishes, a lot of urban parishes, and they can have different priorities. A parish itself can have different priorities, things that they're really focused on doing. And so how to integrate their priorities with care for creation. And then resource limitations. We all know, parishes have resource limitations. We're a volunteer group. We have resource limitations. So it's knowing and being realistic about what we can do. Okay. And then some learnings that we've had as we've done this, and particularly as we moved from a creation commission and doing this for the Archdiocese, moving into the Laudato Si Action Platform and beginning to do our reflection. It was to really say, where are we and what is of highest value here in the diocese? What's the strengths of the diocese? What do we do well? Where are there opportunities for growth? How is the diocese structured? What's the history? And then looking also at the geographical areas. I mentioned the state of Indiana and knowing what's possible. And then I think social considerations as well. So really looking at the context and where you're living and getting a sense of what you see as, what's possible, what's an opportunity. Build from the strengths. If you see something that's very strong, if your diocese has a strong social justice, effort, really look at that as a possibility and see how you can connect to that, for example. Be realistic. We don't have to say we're going to do, solar panels in all the parishes on the first year. If it's not, if the conditions are not there for it, then, be realistic about what the next step is. Grow your network too. We can't do this alone. As we said, we're now a commission of 10, and we reach out to people across the different parishes. We look for folks that are doing their part within each parish and in their own families. And so we want to continue to grow that because it builds the momentum, it builds for a stronger voice. And then lastly, keep the faith. God's calling each of us, but to do our part. We're in a climate crisis that has been created over hundreds of years. We won't change it overnight. We have to just keep at it and do our part and keep our faith in God's call to us. And then just a little bit about once we created our Laudato Si Action Platform. So we did do the reflection. As I said, we really looked at—
You can just make it the super condensed version there.
Will do. Okay, so we just did a quick, really just took what we learned and really focused on opportunities. Okay, and then lastly, our action plan. So it's a simple 5 pages. We looked at each goal, looked at what's possible in each goal for the Archdiocese, and really connected them, again, connected to the 7 goals. And then, we just had a retreat this past January, last month, and we really took a fresh look, and we're still doing that, and just say, what, this goal isn't realistic. So let's remove it. Let's do something different. So, and this goal we've achieved. So let's celebrate that, move on. So it's, it's a work in progress, always a work in progress. All right, well, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you. Now, Sister Adina, we would love to hear from you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sarah. Thank you, Sister Sheila, for these very concrete examples at the diocesan level. I come now from a perspective of a congregational way of writing, drafting, and implementing a 7-year action plan from the Mary Ward family, a joint ministry between the Congregation of Jesus, CJ Sisters, and the Institute of the Blessed Virgin Mary, IBVM. So within the next 10 minutes, I would like to offer you a comprehensive overview focusing on how this plan addresses environmental challenges and fosters unity within our process of becoming one congregation. The Mary Ward family comprises of 2 female religious congregations, about 2,000 members, committed to promoting freedom, justice, peace, and human development, especially through education. In response to Pope Francis' encyclical Laudato Si, and to respond to the cry of the earth and the cry of the poor, in 2021, we formed an inclusive reflection committee, setting a roadmap for the next 7 years. How did we form it? Developed collaboratively, our plan integrates Laudato Si principles into our mission and operations, outlining specific goals and actions. As you see, can you please move to the next slide? Thank you. Thank you. As you see in this slide, we are present in 43 countries all over the world. As I said, we are about 2,000 members, and each of these countries has its own JPIC coordinator. Next. Our plan focuses on integrating Laudato Si principles into our community lives and mission, and to provide a framework for members, communities, and ministries to address environmental challenges and work towards a more sustainable and just future. Important components include educational initiatives, sustainable practice implementation, and collaboration with other partners. We move further. The process began with the establishment of an inclusive reflection committee, as I mentioned before, in February 2021, including members from both congregations and lay colleagues, followed by the launch of the Laudato Si 7-year action plan in June 2021. Later, in November, based on the plan proposed in June, initial plans were developed for provinces, communities, and ministries, leading to registration on the Laudato Si Action Platform in 2022. In the following years, there was a clear shift towards grasping and applying ecological economics principles in 2023, followed by a stronger emphasis on promoting ecological education and awareness-raising activities in 2024, for instance. So this year, it's dedicated to ecological education in all our provinces. Here you see a bit of the timeline. Close collaboration is essential, facilitated through joint working groups and committees, but also with other members of the congregation. So the initial reflection committee was extended to different groups. As I mentioned, this year, we are focusing on educational ecology. So we have members who are have more expertise in the field of education. We move further. Okay, here all our communication goes mainly in 2 languages, Spanish and English. And here you see also behind me and on the screen how we drafted our own way of expressing the 7 Laudato Si goals. And it's made by one of our members from Australia, Sister Susan Daly. We move on further. How do we do? We have yearly events, like for example, every year in June, the congregations come together for a vibrant celebration. Until now, it was on Zoom, reflecting on their progress in implementing yearly goals. Then in November, they ignite new momentum with the launch of a fresh initiative, setting the stage for continued dedication to environmental and social justice. Alongside these milestone events, Mary Ward JPIC coordinators engage in ongoing formation sessions throughout the year, refining their expertise and knowledge, striving towards common objectives. Significant progress has been made in sustainable practices and advocacy. Here are 2 examples of our formation sessions. As I mentioned, they are on Zoom. One was on ecological economics last year, and it was focused on fair trade. And it was our first year of celebrating the implementing of the Laudato Si 7-year action plan. On the next slide here, you see how one of our regions, our members in the US, set up their own plan, how they drafted, and how we support and communicate throughout the year according to what they think they would like to do to bring Laudato Si goals into concrete actions. So on the next slide, please. Okay, here are some of their activities, like conferences on human trafficking. They have tutoring session so it's very differs a lot. Next slide, please. Okay, in terms of communication, we have a dedicated YouTube channel for videos and updates, marywardjpic.org, alongside with 2 upbeat musical compositions for Laudato Si Week and the Season of Creation, and I hope we still have time to listen to one of them. We have a lively Facebook page, an informative website, and regular newsletters who keep members engaged, while shared resources foster collaboration. Additionally, a directory of coordinators enhances both internal and external communication and networking. On our marywardjpic.org website, under resources, you can find our Laudato Si 7-year action plan, both in English and in Spanish. You can also find it on the Laudato Si Action Platform. We move further. Okay, here are the links to the 2 songs. I think the material will be shared with you on the platform, so you can access. They are both on YouTube and available for you to use. Now, what are the challenges? Of course, there are many. We don't have a lot of time. I would like to address 3 of the challenges we face. First are the cultural and the geographical diversity. With ministries spanning over 43 countries, cultural and geographical differences may pose a challenge in ensuring steady understanding and implementation of the action plan's objectives across all regions. So we are in constant dialogue on how we can support more. Another challenge is the resource allocation, ensuring that adequate resources are allocated to each component while balancing other priorities within the congregation could be challenging. And the third one is probably the most engaging one, is sustaining engagement and momentum. So while annual milestones, events like celebrations and goal launches can help maintain momentum, sustaining long-term engagement and commitment among members may prove challenging. Keeping members motivated and actively involved in ongoing formation sessions and collaborative efforts over the 7 years requires consistent effort and a lot of creativity. Here are some of the actions. For example, our Mary Ward School in Spain did a collection to support refugees from Ukraine. We move further. Here are some pictures of sent by our members in India, who are organized with a beautiful network called Laudato South Asia, which here you have some examples of how they respond to an author audit which they had. Further, please. Next. Here are different initiatives in Europe, in Africa, in Kenya, gardening, food saving, food sharing, food bank, and supporting also local initiatives, as you see in the picture from India. Here are some examples from Peru, where our members have do gardening to offer healthy, sustainable meals, but also there is a lot of engagement at the health center. Next. Okay, thank you very much. Reflecting on our journey while we celebrate the progress made and the unity fostered within our congregation, we also recognize the challenges that lie ahead as we navigate cultural diversity, allocate resources wisely, and sustain engagement throughout the span of 7 years. We remain inspired and committed to our Laudato Si 7-year action plan. It represents a bold response to environmental challenges and a commitment to a more sustainable future for our planet. Thank you very much for your support and partnership on this journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Adina. And thank you, both of you, for those examples, which are in your specific context, and I think can start to help people ask the same questions in their own communities and dioceses. I'm going to introduce now Alonso Dianes. He's the program manager, the project manager for the Laudato Si Action Platform. And then we are going to speed things up and we'll have to skip the Q&A today. Hopefully our examples today are giving you some light. But Alonso has dedicated a decade to sustainability and climate change advocacy, and his experience bridges energy, sustainability, and spirituality. As a PhD candidate in management, his interdisciplinary approach fosters meaningful change. He's committed to the Catholic Church's sustainable future and is a catalyst for positive transformation. So Alonso, we invite you to share with us a little bit more details about how people can take these ideas and then put them into practice on the actual platform. He'll show us where to start, how to set up a plan on the platform, what timeline and expectations there are, and uploading them. So Alonso, we pass it to you.
Thank you, Sarah. And thank you everyone to be here. I'm seeing a lot of people from many different countries, Philippines, Italy, Mexico, United States. Welcome, everyone. So the active engagement in the Laudato Si Action Platform. What is a plan? Maybe you're still wondering, what is a plan? Well, a plan is a concrete, it's a concrete action document that individuals, communities, and organizations can develop and implement to respond to Pope Francis' call. Plans typically involve commitments to ecological sustainability, social justice, an economy that serves rather than exploits. Reflecting the integral ecology approach that recognizes the interconnectedness of environmental, economic, social, and cultural issues. It might sound a little bit complex, but I promise that it's not that very hard. So once you are enrolled in the platform, some of you are already enrolled, some of you are not yet. So I invite you to enroll if that's not your case. You can start making a reflection of how do you want to engage more with Laudato Si Action Platform and with integral ecology. It's very important that we understand that the platform is a tool for action. So this is very, very important for every one of us to understand. So when we enroll in the platform, what we are expecting from ourselves is to act towards integral ecology. Why your participation matters? It matters because individuals and communities like you can actually make a significant commitment and continuous action towards ecological conversion. You can do a lot of different ways in which you can take practical action to make a real impact in the world. So where do we start? When we go, next slide, please, crafting impactful goals. So we need to start by assessing our current ecological footprint. That you can do with many different tools. There's a tool in the platform called the self-assessment that also helps you to understand where in your journey towards integral ecology you are. But it's very important for you to understand your unique context and to identify areas of improvement that align with Laudato Si and that aligns with the call for care of our common home. So maybe you're already part of a JPIC committee. Maybe you're already working in a care for creation office, a sustainable department in your organization. You don't have a specific group that works on care for creation, don't worry, it's okay. So maybe that can be your goal for this year, and that can be included in your Laudato Si plan. And I'm gonna give example of the Episcopal Conference of Japan that said, hey, listen, we are very far away to start assessing our ecological footprint, but we realize that there's no Laudato Si goals in Japanese. So for us, our goal this year will be to translate the Laudato Si goals to Japanese and give that to the Japanese Christians. That's impactful. That's making a plan, and that's giving people some encouragement. So where can we start when we're in the platform? There are different ways. So if you follow the traditional way in the platform, we invite you to, after the enrollment, complete a small step of general information about who you are. Either you're an individual, a family, or a community organization. And you're gonna answer that small survey. It's not gonna take you more than 5 minutes. It's very, very easy. And that will give the platform the context of where you're working, the country you are, and the tools you possess. With that in mind, the platform will give you tailored suggested actions adapted to the reality you're working in. So because the platform and we in the team know that there are different realities going on in the United States versus Ecuador, then the platform asks you some questions to give you tailored suggested actions to make progress in one or more of the Laudato Si goals. So in order to understand also your ecological footprint, as I said, you can do the self-assessment, which will take you several minutes more, or you can do a footprint quiz in any other platform or website, whichever tool you want to use. And then we invite you to review the Laudato Si goals, and these are response to the cry of the poor, response to the cry of the earth, ecological economics, adaptation of sustainable lifestyles, ecological education, ecological spirituality, and community resilience and empowerment. So you can choose one or the 7 to reflect on what your community is capable of doing, or what you can do as an individual, or what you can do as a family. You are very free to select 7, 3, 1, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that you can actually turn that knowledge of what of which goals we're trying to achieve and convert it into practical steps and actions. So you are going to outline, and identify and set realistic, impactful ecological action. As I said, for Japan, the thing that was easier and that was realistic and impactful was just to translate the goals. Other communities will say, hey, listen, we're going to create a booklet of what the Laudato Si goals are, and we're going to add a prayer on it. And that way we are doing ecological education and ecological spirituality. It's fair, it's good, it's impactful, and you can put that into your Laudato Si action plan. You need to also see how your actions integrate your personal values, your community values, your community objectives, and taking all this with a holistic approach. If we see the next slide, you can see a screenshot of your dashboard. There you have the first part that is marked in green is suggested actions. So I'm going to clarify here. If you already done that, it's gonna be green. If you haven't, it's gonna be orange. So you have your suggested actions here, your self-assessment here, and then the part for reflection, upload, and your uploading of Laudato Si Plan. Then you can also get in contact with a working group member. In this slide, you can see where ESET is in the community section of your dashboard. You can go contact with LSAP working groups, and you can have tailored or advice on how to better craft your Laudato Si plan. Bringing your plan to life. So you will include in your plan your ecological goals, your plan actions, your timelines, and your success metrics if you have one. So you can create your plan, then log into your Laudato Si Action Platform account, navigate to your dashboard, and submit the plan. In the next slide, you can have you can see where the submit Laudato Si plan section is. You can select the year, 2024, 2023. You can do either an annual plan, change it every year, or for more long-term goals. You can also see other people plans. You can also read and have access of the planning guides. If you don't know where to start, or if you're a little bit confused, you can see some of the guides and templates that are going to be available in your dashboard also. And remember that your plan is evolving. So you can evaluate your progress and change your plan and upload a new plan. And you can also feel free to see the map in the website to spot other communities working, try to see if you can contact them, get inspired by them, and share knowledge. And that's all from my part. Thank you very much. And remember that each small action contributes to a larger change.
Thank you so much, Alonso. We're getting so many comments in the chat that these presentations are really helpful information and useful information. And we feel like we can always hear more than what we've had time to be able to share, which is hard to say, but also is very encouraging because I feel like we're all thinking about it. And I just encourage you to continue the conversations with the people in your areas. Reach out to us at info@laudatosiactionplatform.org. If you have questions, if you want to sign up for our newsletter, if you need to upload your plan and you're still having problems doing that, info@laudatosiactionplatform.org. We did want to have time for questions and answers. We're not going to make it because we need to give our translators some time to take a break before our community meeting that's coming up. We will take a 7-minute break. So those of you who will be joining us on the community meeting, find the link for the community meeting in your email in the meantime, and we will see you in about 7 minutes. Thank you everyone so much. Thank you to our technical team behind the scenes, our translators, for all of you for connecting around the world, and mostly for each one of you and that commitment that you have to putting the message of Laudato Si into practice, to being united to God, so that influences the people that you are out in the world and your organizations, and we are together in this. Don't give up, and we hope to see you next month on March 14th, where we'll be talking about the importance of engaging our church leadership in the process of ecological conversion. So see you all in 7 minutes. Thank you so much.